pressman I told you about, he was a hypochondriac. Nice.
That's right.
Really?
He was a hypochondriac, so he thought he was having a heart attack. So I called the rescue squad, and I had one of my guys.
Wait, who is this?
He was my pressman. He was the main pressman. Nice
Steve,
guy,
right.
Steve Green.
Yeah.
A hypochondriac. You know, and I just played off of that all I could, you know. Plus, he was one of those guys that get that phobia for spiders. God, I used to I went to the costume shop, like, I bought a big spider, put it on my shoulder while I'm talking to him. I thought, God, something's biting me, you know. And I take my hand out, here's this big ass spider. He goes, ah, ah, and he backed up into a running press once. When he did something to Joyce on April Fool's Day, so she says, get even with Steve for me. I said, took a number 10 envelope, okay, put his name on the front, and I took she had some dental floss, I had this big old spider, and I tied it around his leg, and I taped it inside the flap of the number 10 envelope, and I just put his name in. So I said, Steve, somebody dropped off this envelope for you. So he said, okay, and he picks it up, and he opens it up, and that damn spider flies out. All you could hear is, ah, ah. He was seeing flashing lights. He backed up into a wall. He would
just lost it.
Oh, yeah.
Would
So
Chris
he's in
do
the
that?
hospital,
Chris
you know?
Rawlings?
So I tell this guy, I said, you go with Steve to the hospital. I'll come back behind you with the car, you know. So I walk in and there's Steve Lane. He's got this big old pot belly. He's all full of ink, and his shoes, his old ink shoes, his pressman are sticking up, and he's like freaking dying. He's got 2 blood pressure things. So I just happened to go by the doctor's station there, and he says, well, Steve is okay. He was telling nurse, I think his blood pressure pills probably reacted something, you know, and so I walk in there, and Steve's laying there, and the blood pressure thing goes off. He says, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? I said, it's the blood pressure, don't worry about it. I'm looking, I said, holy shit. He said, what's wrong? I said, holy shit, Steve. 70, I was just making these numbers up, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, and he sat up like somebody stuck a spring up his ass. He sat up, what the hell is wrong with me?
Oh, gosh.
And this other guy is crying, he's against the wall, he can't even stand, and I said, Stevie, I figured you out. I said, you need a freaking enema. I said, you are bound up. I said, it was a nice young nurse. I said, when she comes in, I'm getting you an enema. No! I said, no, Steve, take my word. I said, you are plugged up. I'm going to help you out. He was like, and then this is even funnier yet. It isn't funny. It is. One of my other pressmen was getting a heart attack. So we called the rescue squad for him. And Steve gets in the back of the rescue squad.
Did y'all actually ever work, or did you just call the rescue squad and go to the hospital?
So this guy's laying in there, you know, and he's actually crying. You know, Terry, he was the nicest guy. And Steve is sitting next to him, and they're going to the hospital, right? So Terry's having this all, you know, just in miserable shape. And he says, Steve, he says, I sure am glad of one thing. Steve says, what's that? He says, Jack isn't riding with me.